Hey guys, Skylar here again. The shops have been super busy. So on August 6th of 2021, I completed 3 models, one of them being the engine and the other one being the ladder truck for Ethan for his collection of Code 3 models. And this one is another customer of mine, brand new customer, saw my models and decided, hey, I would really love to have a mini rescue for my collection of model vehicles for my village. And I said, yeah, you know what? We talked about some different ideas, went over some pictures, and this is what we came up with. So this is a 1/64 scale Greenlight Collectibles Ford F-350 cab and chassis. With a couple little extra details there. So this truck actually started off as, and I'll bring in a picture here. It started off as something like this. So as you can see, it's missing the bumper because the bumper from this truck is actually on the rescue truck. So it started off as, an F-350 pickup truck. What I did was I cut off the bed to this truck. And then, we just had a free cab. And what I ended up doing was making a couple cab mounts there so that the cab sat level on the chassis. And we went from there. So we're going to just go over this model here. It's got a lot of custom stuff on here, and I will describe it as best as I can in some different sizing of some styling, because I know I've had a lot of questions in the past of how I make these rescue bodies. The one thing I've done making these rescue bodies is I've learned from a couple of the more senior Kitbash guys out there that have helped me along my way, that have made me get to the customizer that I am today. And I'm very thankful for them, because without their tips and tricks and looking at pictures and trying to scale things as best as I can, you wouldn't be able to make as cool as models if you didn't quite do your research. And they always say do your research, do your homework in making things. So here we go, we'll just jump right in. So I'll zoom in a little bit here. So this is the Village Fire Department's Rescue 2 unit. This is a 2021 build here at Skyback ERV. Like I said, we got a 1/64 scale Greenlight cab. We had custom painted the lighting up top here, painted it nice and orange, added a Rescue 2 roof decal on there, hand painted it black. We got a custom resin casted clear light bar, similar to what Greenlight puts on their models, just a little bit different there. The customer really wanted to have a chrome look to it, so we kept it with the chrome grille, and we used a chrome pen and chromed out the front bumper there to get it the way she looks. And this truck, I've done one in the past that has a little bit of a higher body like this. More equipment storage, a little bit higher, a little bit more to it. The black stripes are from the San Francisco decal sheet from Inquarters at Rich. Probably with these videos that I'm starting to do on my models, you'll hear me use Inquarters and Rich a lot. He makes amazing scaled decals for fire, EMS, police, and they just look spectacular. Like, it just pops. Like, I'm not even really zoomed in that much, and you can read those decals crisp. And this is 1/64 scale, so that's maybe a couple millimeters by a couple millimeters, and it's nice and clear. The Village Fire and Rescue 2 decals are from the generic fire department decal sheet that he does with all the different names and everything on there. The Rescue 2 one that I mentioned up top there, that's actually from Joseph Schultz at Diecast and Decals. A couple years back, he made some custom decals for the city where I live, and I got a bunch left over, so I just cut and paste them and use them where it is. So now that that's kind of gone over the cab there, we repainted the cab. It's not the same red as that pickup truck that I showed. It's a apple red from a company here in Canada that provides paint at Canadian Tire. So this body, it's a little bit higher. I'll put my phone down here and zoom out a little bit so that you guys can see. So it's 1/64 scale, roughly. And it's all scratch built. It's all hand built, hand cut pieces. I got a couple pieces I'll just show over here. So these are all my little hand pieces here, little thin pieces that I use for, you know, doing the dividers between the roll-up doors. The roll-up doors are actually what's called V-groove styrene, and I use those for the best look of having a body in this rescue style here. And it works out amazing, and it just looks so real. And then the other thing I do is I'll cut out each side. So what I usually do is I cut out the V groove roughly to the size it's going to be. So as you can see here, it's pretty tall body, you know. We come in with a little measuring ruler there, you know, measure millimeters there. So we're sitting at almost roughly 39-40 millimeters. And then, you know, wide with the body without the bumper, we're sitting at about 43 roughly, 45, something like that. I didn't write it down in my book, in my sketchbook this time. Usually I do. Then on the bottom here, as you know, real trucks have C-channel. So, you know, we cut and pasted some C-channel there. Got it going all the way around the body there. Something that I've tried doing now on my models is I used to get what's called three-quarter round styrene for my wheel wells. And I just found, like, you know what, if I glued it wrong or I screwed up a little bit, that it would have like a little jog or a little weird mark in it. And I'm like, oh God, that doesn't look good. You know, I gotta think of another way here. But, you know, sometimes I still do that three-quarter round. But now what I've started doing is I'll take the body here and I'll cut out the one side, and then I use 0.20, you know, more of a thicker rigid styrene, and I stick the V groove on top of there, and I keep it a square. So it stays in that square shape all the way along. You know, I don't have any of these dividing pieces, any of the lights or anything added on there, not even the C channel. Then what I do is I cut out the other side, leave it the same way. And I actually just slowly glue tack it together, both pieces, and, you know, I even them out and I file them, sand them, you know, make sure it's all nice and even so that when I put the body on it, it sits level. And, you know, it doesn't have a weird crooked angle to it or anything like that. And then I mark out the wheel wells. So, you know, I do a little jog here, do a little jog there, and then I just play with my sanding wheel on my Dremel tool. You know, or I have a couple little jigs, little extra pieces of styrene that I have that I've used, where I just go and I just plop that piece of styrene on and I just trace out the angle of the wheel well. But what I started doing with the wheel wells is I'll try and show it from underneath here. You can kind of see how I attach the chassis. So as you can see there, we'll put it on the side. So, you know, we got the, use my ruler here, we got the 0.20, this thick piece right here is like 0.20 styrene. Then, you know, we got the C channel on there and everything else. So, you know, it gets to be a thick, rigid body. And then what I do is I take just some regular rectangular styrene in these long strips, like what I was showing you guys over here that I just, you know, got laying around here. So, you know what, we get a big piece like this, and then I just, you know, it's pretty flimsy, and I just bend it in the wheel well, and we end up just gluing it in there, and I just press it really hard with my finger, and we get a wheel well. And then, you know what, we painted black, and we got a nice smooth finish, and it hangs out just a little bit there. So I have a few different thicknesses and widths. So depending on which model I'm doing, whether it might be an engine, rescue, or whatever, you know, I use that the best. And then on the inside, this actual fender flare is flush on the inside, so that, you know, it's got that little jog out to actually look like a fender flare there. So it turned out pretty cool. Then, you know what, we got some little jogs there. These little LED lights are just cut pieces of the same kind of rectangular styrene, different size, different number and scale. You know, maybe on the next batch that I do, I'll be able to tell you guys, I use number 240 or whatever from Plastruct or Evergreen, and then I just cut it to like a couple millimeters. Like these are only about like 2 millimeters. Yeah, about 2 millimeters. For, you know, the even look there, you know, center it best we can there. Then I got full round solid styrene tubing for, you know, using, as you can see here, the roll up door handles on either side. So that's the side. You know, the other side is basically the same here, so we'll flip it around. There, you know, pretty basic. Myself or the other customer might add a little silver square here for, like, you know, the def and fuel area. But, you know, we might even paint that on there too. Leave it up to the customer there. You know, it, like I said, it was a Greenlight 350. You know, most rescue trucks are 550s, so most 550s have, like, you know, black wheel wells there, but, you know, customer's discretion. We didn't do that, and it still looks amazing. As for the back here, the customer really likes, he's got a fleet of black over red and, you know, black and red fire trucks there, so we kept with the theme there. And the chevrons are also from Rich at Inquarters. And we did black. We did black over the red paint there, you know, added those styrene 2mm lights I talked about. And then I'll try and make it nice and clear here as I go in. So these rear turn signal lights, seen, and, like, you know, flashing amber lights, those are new that I'm offering up on my site here shortly once I cast enough in clear and white resin. You know, just another little effect on the models there, you know, because sometimes on models that we get, they are just what we call just embedded. They're either, you know, you'll snap or break the lights, or they're metal and they're stuck in there, and you got to grind them down if you want to move them or do a different shape there. So these are clear and white resin ones that I use, and then I just used paint on them to get them to how I like it. The rear directional light up top here for telling traffic where to go, or caution lighting, that's also a 1/64 scale piece that I had made and recast it in resin. So yeah, that's a lot of resin work on the back here. You know what, we got 3 different little custom pieces there. You know, maybe the customer will add license plates or something on there later, but, you know, pretty basic back end. It's, you know, medium slash small duty rescue truck, you could say, you know, ready for anything. So it could be rescue, medical, maybe even got a little bit of forestry gear on there too. But yeah, and then what I'll do is I'll come up top here and we'll show off the roof. The roof is pretty simple. This is also a new piece that I'm going to be showing off here. So this is 1/64 scale scene light. As many of you know, on my website, I have, you know, lots of casted resin stuff for emergency vehicles or search and rescue videos or what have you. So I got my hands on one of the Code 3 collectibles Clark County trucks, and a lot of my customers are like, I got a mini command truck, or I want to make an FDNY command truck, and, you know, some of them have like the little mini scene lights, and I'm like, oh gosh, like, how am I going to find one of these? Like, you know, it took years to find one. You know, some of my buddies had parts, and it's like, oh, you know what, I'll find one. Finally found one with Jeremy at the Little Fire Pro Shop there, you know, and oh man, I was so excited to get my hands on one of them. So, you know what, I popped it off, recasted it, changed a few things there, and this is the first one that's come out there, and the customer wanted to have a mini one on his rescue truck there. So that's what we did. We got that pop in there, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about. It turned out amazing on that truck there. And then, sorry about the quick little zoom in, zoom out there. We'll just change the angle of this so you guys can see this for 30 seconds. The other thing that a lot of people have been telling me, so back in and asking me about is, where the heck do you get your checker plate on your models? It looks so close to the Code 3 stuff. Actually, in 2015, I went to the Columbus Kitbash show, and I met one of my good old buddies now that I talk to quite frequently, Chris. A lot of you in the model world know him as Buckjaw. Won't give out his full name, but a lot of you know him out there. He does some crazy models, and he's getting into the, fire replicas and the DC fire department models and stuff. And he's just amazing builder. And he gave me this tread plate, is what it's called. And he's like, you do some great models. Let's see what you can do with it. And so, from 2015 until last year, so 2020, I was able to use all that tread plate on a lot of my models, for whether that be my customers or personal projects. So then from there, what I ended up doing was I ran out, and I was like, oh no. So I contacted my friend. I'm like, you know what? I lost the label that was in it. Can you let me know what it is? And he's like, yeah, I'll send you a picture. So he sent me a picture, so I'll let you guys see it. I think I paid $16 a piece. So each one, there's 2 pieces in it. And they're 7 inches by 12 inches. I'll show you guys the label here, the website. And man, they got some other cool stuff on there as well. So, we talked about the model. We'll do a little zoom up top here. You guys can see the checker plating. A little bit more clear there, and then we'll just come right over here to the label. Modelbuildersupply.com. So this is actually a Canadian company located in Ontario. They are amazing people to deal with. I email them or I call them being like, hey, do you guys have this? Or do you guys have this? And they'll go like literally right into the back room and be like, yeah, we got it. We can send it to you right now. And then boom, 2 days later, I got it from Ontario. Probably because I live in British Columbia, which is not too far away, for you American boys and girls out there that are doing kit bashing. You know what, it might take, this regular 7 business days or what have you from the post office. But yeah, so this is 1/87 scale tread plate, 2 pieces, 7 inches by 12 inches, basically the size of a piece of paper. And I can tell you from, it's 1/87 scale, but it's a little bit smaller, and it works out better for 1/64 scale models. The 1/64 is just a tad bigger, and just, you don't have that quite, as you can see here, just by looking at the tread plate, and then also seeing it on the model over here that I've used, that, it looks more to scale. So I like to stick to the 1/87 scale. That's what my buddy Chris gave me, and I use it on everything I can. Whether it be emergency vehicles or not. And then over here, we'll show you a little bit more of the label. Tells you about it, different things that they do. The one recent thing that I got is because I'm wanting to build some shops, or some like rural style fire departments, is I got their clapboard siding or like the metal siding kind of thing, because they offered that. These guys also offer tree, shrubbery. They offer everything. So it's actually a pretty cool site. So, I don't work for them. I'm not trying to, sell you guys on their products. But you know what? This is a game changer for this hobby. A lot of us have been using Plastract or other companies' tread plate. But this stuff is definitely 100% as close as possible to Code 3. So thank you, Chris. And thank you, Model Builders Supply. For that. So that's my little spiel on that. And then thank you to Zach for trusting us in building your rescue truck for your village. And I cannot wait to see it in your layout there with your other vehicles. So thanks again, man. Take care, and we'll see you guys all on the next model here. And this is Skylar signing out for August 7th of 2021. Take care, guys.